Yo patrons, it's Johannes from Noisebud, and today I'm updating my plugin Peach. Let's go and have a look at it. So Peach is my dynamic workhorse. You can use it as a compressor or stereo widener or expansion or gate or limiting or pretty much anything you throw at it. The basic idea with Peach is that instead of using ratios when you are dialing in, for example, compression or expansion or things like that, you work with set decibel values. So here in the middle, you have a meter that shows you if the signal is above or below the threshold. So this thing here will, let's play a little bit of this track. As you can see, this is probably sidechain to the kick. We're gonna have a look at the settings soon, but it will, as the kick hits, the signal goes above the threshold, and then the upper part of the plugin is active. And in this case, I don't change the gain really, because you do that with this knob. So if you wanted to compress 3 decibels, for example, then you put this to -3. And when this meter is at the top position here, then the attenuation is -3 decibels. So instead of ratio, you work like that, which gives you a lot of control. Let's say that I want the peaks to be 1.254 decibels less than they are, and then you can dial it in. It's really easy. That is pretty hard to do if you're working with ratios. I mean, most people know how to dial in a compressor by heart when you work with audio for a while. Then it becomes kind of a non-issue that you can't 100% control the outcome. Most people is just happy with the gain reduction meter, and if that shows about 3 decibels, that's fine. So when I created Peach, it was mostly not that I needed something like this. I was just curious, how would this stand against a normal compressor, for example? And I come to the conclusion that it holds up pretty well. It's another way of dialing things in, but you can do the same things that you can do with a compressor. But with this thing, you can do so much more. So to put this in a category of plugins, I would say that Multiplicity by GMG Audio is probably in the same kind of segment of plugins. And that thing, that EQ, the signal above the threshold, different what it's called, I don't remember right now, but there's a plugin that's really cool where you have 2 different EQ settings for when the signal is above a threshold or below, which is also really cool. And this Peach is amongst those kind of plugins, so you can do a lot with it, and we're gonna show you that by using a couple of instances while mastering this track. So we're gonna go to the screen so we see the whole thing here. All right, let's start with, you can see here that I have 3 instances of Peach. They are all doing different things. So let's start with this first instance. And I have a function here where you can put, now I removed my comment. You can put a comment in the top of each instance of Peach so that you can remember what the instance does. And that I added that when I realized that I'm using this plugin everywhere, especially while mastering, because it can do so much. So to look at these settings, you can see that in this setting I have muted the signal when it goes below the threshold. So that means it will take away something. We don't know what yet. And it's reacting to about peaks around 100 hertz. I set that up in the sidechain. Let's have a look at sidechain. That is the sidechain that the signal is reacting to. And let's have a look how it looks here. So it's clearly reacting to the kick pretty much. But the dry and wet control is set very low. So it's mostly the dry signal. That's why I can mute the lower part of the signal here. So we're just affecting the audio when the signal is above, or not. That's not completely true. We are affecting the audio when it's below as well, because the output filter is set to remove everything in the mid channel, so it leaves the side channel. So if you think about this, this means that as the kick hits, it lets the audio through in the mid channel, so you can hear the kick in the mid channel. As the kick disappears, it will remove everything from the mid channel. That will just give you pretty much anti-phase. You're just stuck with the side channel. But we're using the dry and wet control. This means that we're using it in parallel, so we're just taking away a little bit of the mid channel, not everything. To just demo what this plugin does when it's 100% wet, we just listen to it with 100% wet, and then it sounds like this. And that's not really usable. But if we dial that back to about like that, 20% or so, then listen again. When we use it like that, we get a really pleasant widening of the stereo image. That it's hard to really hear what does it do. It just sounds like there's a little bit more space in the mix, which actually is the case as well. Because if you measure the loudness, you can see that I turned on the loudness compensation here, and it gives us half a dB of loudness with these settings. So the signal, we can push the signal half a dB louder without getting a penalty, a loudness penalty, if you like to call it that. All right, so this is the first instance of the pitch. Let's go to the second one. And here it says kick transient mono. So let's have a look at the settings here as well. We're looking at the sidechain. It seems to be about the same. Yep, it's the same sidechain, so it's reacting to the kick. In this instance, we're muting the signal as it goes above the threshold. So we have muted the upper part. And if we go to the output filter, then we're taking away everything from the side channel, or not everything. I think we have a little bit of filter here. Let's have a look at it. We're taking away everything from 20 hertz up to about 3000 hertz in the side channel. That means that we pretty much mono everything as the kick hits, but it's just a transient. It's really short. To demo this, I think it's better to just listen in delta here. So it just ducks the side channel as the kick hits. And what this gives you is that every time the kick hits, you dial in on the kick. The kick is the king. So you remove the stereo image, not the whole, everything about 3000 hertz is still there. But that will give you a focus on the kick for just that short little, maybe it's 30 milliseconds or something. So let's see if we can hear that if we mute this while playing. And I can hear that it feels wider when this is off. But I still, even if I miss that with a little bit, I still prefer the version with pitch there, because the kick is so, or the low end and the kick is so important in to get that dubby feeling. So I think it wins with it on. And I also used a third instance of pitch to compensate a little bit for that loss of stereo information. So here it says upper stereo. Oh, okay, here's an old thing from another demo. It says upper stereo. So what happens in this thing? Let's have a look at the sidechain so we know what the plugin is reacting to. So pretty much everything about 1.5K and up. That's the signal that the plugin is reacting to. And what are we doing as the signal goes above the threshold there? We boosting the upper spectrum by 12 decibels. That's a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing. But we dialed it back a little bit with the dry wet control here. So it's not 12 decibels, it's probably a little bit less. Maybe about 7 or 8 decibels. And the output filter, let's have a look at that. Yeah, we are affecting the upper part of the spectrum. And as you can see here, we're doing that in the side channel. So this means that as the signal goes above the threshold in the upper part of the spectrum, we are boosting the side channel with about 7 decibels in the high region of the spectrum. So this will give us a lot of stereo information. I can also see that we are using a soft clipper on the signal as it goes below the threshold, which will also give us a bit of stereo, a feel of stereo depth. And let's just toggle bypass as we play this, and when we play the music. I hope you could hear that. It just gets this rich and lush and 3D feeling stereo with really nice. It does it really nicely. And let's do another thing here. We're going to use this thing, and we are using all the 3 instances of pitch on this track. So I selected the 3 instances here. With one of my scripts that I created to be able to do things like this. And we're gonna bypass all 3 at the same time and then activate them again, so you can hear how much of an effect this has to the whole track. So let's play the track and watch me toggling the bypass. When they are red here, you can see that it says bypassed here. And you'll also see that the text here becomes red, the name of the plugin. then it's bypassed, and when I activate it, and you will also hear a little click because it adds latency, so it needs to pause the audio for a couple of milliseconds to recalculate the latency. That's why it's clicking. So here we go. I hope you realize how powerful pitch is and what you can use it for. And the reason why I updated it at this point is really because I'm preparing it for version 2, which I'm going to add a thing in pitch which will make it even more powerful. So I'm not going to make a full walkthrough of this version of Peach because I hope I will be able to finish version 2 pretty soon. And that will be, at least for me, a little bit of a revolution while working. I will be able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. But already Peach is really powerful. The new things in this version of Peach is that you can switch between, let's go back to this, here we go. You can switch between hard clipping and soft clipping. So you can soft clip the upper or the lower part here, and you can oversample it up to 4 times. Oversampling, and that is really cool. That makes it, yeah, you can use it like a compressor, and then you can soft clip the lower part when the signal goes below in the low end or something. You can do crazy stuff with it, and it's really nice how you can use that saturation to within a track, or warmth, or yeah, all that nice stuff. So it's a really nice soft clipping algorithm. That's one thing. And another thing is that you have another setting when it comes to the signal that the plugin reacts to, which is called adapt, and you find that here. When you press this, it will use it will normalize the signal in a short time frame. I think it's like a second or something like that, so that the highest peak in that section will be the highest peak in the controlling signal. So to show you that, let's go to a part, let's go back to this screen here, and here's a section of the track that with lower audio. And the normal behavior is when you play a part like this, the signal probably stays below the threshold. And when you hit adapt, it will start to normalize that audio. So it will start to put the highest peak in that section as the highest point for the signal that's controlling the sidechain that the plugin reacts to. So when we hit adapt and play the same section, it looks like this. As you can see in the beginning, it finds a lot of high peaks, and the signal is above the threshold. When what you just saw later on, when the signal calmed down again, then it's under a certain threshold that will take away the adapt function, and that's because when if this track goes to silence, for example, then you actually want the signal to be silent. You don't want to find the peaks in that section. So that's why it's stopped. But with most situations, it won't. Let's play the end here as well. Let's zoom out again and play the end here and have a look at this. And I will press adapt as we play so you can see the difference. The idea with adapt is, in some situations with certain audio, you want it to react similarly, even though the incoming signal is a bit uneven. And speech, for example, can be such a thing that you still want it to compress, even if the signal goes down a little bit. You still want the same compression. Then you can use adapt to dial that in. So that's that function. And the other new thing is the soft clipping. And other than that, it's just small bug fixes and stuff to make it better. And I'm looking forward to making the video for version 2. It's gonna be crazy. At least it's gonna rock my world. We'll see if it will break the internet or not. Probably not, but it will rock my world. It's such a cool idea. So yeah, we'll see about that later. Have a good one and download this and enjoy it. And I see you with the next plugin. Bye bye.